Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe, Jaya Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe, Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama, Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama, Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Nitai Jaya Gauranita Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol 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 Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Om Shripad Paramsa Parivachara shows a divine grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Kodi Vaishnavinda ki jai, Namacharya Sharidas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से गो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाशति गौर भक्तविंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय, समवेत भक्तविंद की जय. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Garang, all glories to Prabhupada ki jai. So let's start verse Canto 2, Chapter 4, which is entitled The Process of Creation, text number 7. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So text number 7. Yata Gopayati Vibhur Yata Samsayachate Punaha Punah Yam yam shakim upashritya Puru Shaktir Para Puman Atmanam Kridayan Kridan Karoti Vikaroti Cha Yata Gopayati Vibhur Yata Samchayache Puna Yam Yam Shakim Upashritya Purusha Shakti Parapuman Atmanam Kridayan Kridan Karoti Vikaroti Cha Yata Gopayati Vibhur Yata Samyachate Punam Yam Yam Shakim Upashritya Purushat Shakti Parapuman Atmanam Kridayan Kridan Karoti Vikaroti Cha Yata as Gopayati maintains Vibhuhu the great Yata as Samyakchate winds up Punaha again Yam Yam as Shaktim energies Upashritya by employing Puru Shakti the all powerful Paraha the supreme Human personality of Godhead Atmanam planetary expansions Kridayan having engaged them Kridan as always personally being engaged Karoti does that Vikaroti the cause to be done Cha and translation. This is Parikshit Maharaj asking, kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player. Purport. In Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, the Supreme Lord is described as the chief eternal being among all other individual beings, Nitya Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, and the one Supreme Lord who maintains innumerable other living entities and one maintains innumerable other living beings. Eko Bahunamo Vidatati Kaman. So all living entities, both in the conditioned state and in liberated state, are maintained by the Almighty Supreme Lord. Such maintenance is effected by the Lord through his different expansions of self and three principal energies, namely internal, external and marginal energies. The living entities are his marginal energies, and some of them, in the confidence of the Lord, are entrusted with the work of creation also, as are Brahma, Marichi, etc. And the acts of creation were inspired by the Lord upon them. Tene Brahma Hida. The external energy Maya is also impregnated with the jivas or conditioned souls. The unconditioned marginal potencies acts in the spiritual kingdom. And the Lord, by his different planetary expansions, maintains them in different transcendental relationships displayed in the spiritual sky. So the one supreme personality of Godhead manifests himself as many, Bahu Shyam, and thus all diversities are in him, and he is in all diversities. Although he is nevertheless different from all of them, he is all diverse. He is in all diversities, although he is nevertheless different from all of them. That is the inconceivable mystic power of the Lord, and as such everything is simultaneously one with and different from him by his inconceivable potencies. Achinta Beda Veda Tattva. Let's chant the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandascha Gananjana Shalakaya Takshurum Militam Yena Dasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Swapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Charitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Stvagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shute Devi Mami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll read the translation again. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player. So, again, welcome to a bright Monday morning. I think the winter is almost there. It's getting colder and colder in the mornings. And it's very hard to sit and work at home because if you're not moving much, you start to feel cold, and you always turn on the heater, which is not good. So we have to tolerate the inconvenience of the weather. So in this verse, Parashit Maharaj is asking about the how is it that the Lord is basically expanding himself, and how is he managing the whole material creation with his different energies. As Brajnath Prabhu was mentioning on Friday's class, how a devotee is not someone who is just sentimentalist, who just goes by just what his gut feel is. He doesn't know anything about what's happening in the material world, and he only knows, and he's not basically does not has any opinion or doesn't have much knowledge about the working of the material world, and basically saying people might think he's just a waste, he's not street smart. But as Vajranath Prabhu was explaining, that after hearing all that, like in the previous chapters, what is the duty of a person in the day-to-day life, and what is the duty of a person who is actually about to die? Listening all to this, and listening to the Virat Roop expansion, again Parashit Maharaj asks the question about creation. So again the chapter entitled The Process of Creation. And why? Because devotee knows everything, and he wants to know everything that's related to God, not just the part that he likes. Like as Prabhupada explains during his Krishna book reading time, when he hears that Krishna killing the demons, he gets real pleasure, and he just laughs and just becomes very enthusiastic. So the devotee who was reading Krishna book, he used to select pastimes where Krishna is killing demons. But then Prabhupada said, you can read Krishna book from any page, because it's just like Krishna book is like rasgulla. No matter where you bite, it's still as sweet as any other part. So as devotees, we also want to understand how the working of the material world is, and how the working of the different energies, and how we can actually use that energy to actually advance in our spiritual life. So that is a very important point which I took from Rajnath Prabhu's class on Friday. So we have to have that broad mind, that how, rather than discussing among us how can we take up Krishna consciousness in the scientific world and make it repeatable and make it provable, and then convince the mind of the educated class, of what they call a scholarly class of scientists, about the power of Krishna consciousness. So it is something that I felt that it's the need of the hour. And I like to say one example, when from our own congregation, Achyuta Keshav Das, the son of Shyamnanda and Madhavi Mataji, because they are my godbrothers, I do get opportunity to associate with them, and I know Achyuta Keshav right from, I think, when I came to know him, he was about 8 years old or something like that. So now he is about, even less than 8. Now he's 13 or 14. I know him more than for 10 years, so he maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. So he's very spiritually motivated, and he wants to, take up this Krishna conscious very seriously. Then I used to just joke with him, asking what do you want to become? Then you just become a brahmachari, and then don't have to go through the difficulties of all this work or study and everything. So you become just a Naishtika brahmachari. But I used to just ask him want to know what he wants to do, just so that I can help him in whatever way I can. And then when I think 3 years ago, when I asked him, he said that he wants to learn theology. He wants to do masters in theology, or and understand that different religions and everything, and then so he can propose some papers and do some research work on that. I was actually impressed with his answer, and he said that, how did you get this idea? And then he said, I'm not sure if that was my Guru Maharaj who mentioned it, or Bir Krishna Goswami, His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He got that idea, and then he said, I want to do something like that. Even if I want to dedicate my life full time to Krishna consciousness, I want to be known as a person who just didn't take up Krishna consciousness without any qualification. I want to have a positive effect to the community. So basically it says, if the kids are grown up properly in Krishna consciousness, they do have the fire to actually represent Krishna consciousness in the wider community, which is, as devotees, we with day-to-day work and taking care of family, which which basically I feel hard to communicate or have an impact on. So it's very commendable that a devotee from a young devotee from a community, he's actually having that, at least a dream of doing that. What happens? Destiny and Shri Radha Gopinath decides, but dream. Prabhupada always said you have to dream big. Now again, I'm not saying he's exemplary, is the icon, but there are other devotee kids who have similar ambitions. I'm just sharing the ones which I know. So coming to the point where here, when Parikshit Maharaj is asking about creation, Now, to explain about that is a wonderful thing, because Lord is unlimited, right? And then His activities and His glories are unlimited. And the devotee, a pure devotee, wants to hear about the glories of the Lord, unlimited, forever. Because if you see, like Parashit Maharaj, even when he was about to die, his 7 days, he overcame tiredness, sleep, as well as hunger, every urge of the material nature, to just sit and listen to Bhagavatam for full 7 days. And I don't think that we at this point of time have that much of conviction or the taste to actually hear Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. We can sit and hear for maybe 5 or 6 hours, but then we need to have some food to re-energize ourselves. But that is the example. Now we can think like, oh, that's a different age, But still we have the examples of the 6 Goswamis, who basically, when they get together, they talk about Krishna Katha, and then they forget to sleep. Now there's a different thing about, I forgot to call my wife to let her know that I'll be coming a bit late. To basically, I forgot to when I was hearing to the class, I forgot to turn off the aircon or turn off the washing machine or something. But then to actually forget sleep and hunger is something which is we haven't experienced that while hearing Krishna Katha. And we have that example just 500 years ago. So it's not something that is long ago, about 5,000 years that there's been experienced. We still have our own dear 6 Goswamis experiencing it, and telling that once we have that kind of Krishna Prem, it's possible for us to reach that level as well. It's not just for them. He said this is the stage that you can reach, and it is available for everyone. And who wants to take it, it's up to them. Now here in this verse, it said that Krishna creates this whole material universe just like a sporting player playing any sport. Now, not to compare the professional sports that's been played now, because people who are even playing sports now, they've made it very complicated. There is so much expectation, there is so much pressure, there is so much at stake on winning or losing. It's not played as a sport, and players need to take a break. Now, sports is a thing that you play when you need, that's a break from your routine. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, even a thing that you actually do for a break has become so intense that you need to take a break from that. So that is Kali Yuga for you. And people have produced so much strategies, techniques, and people, even during the off season, they actually kind of try to improve their techniques or the bad habits that's creeped into their game, because the opponents have visualized, and they have actually the next season start, they might have found out your weakness. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna's play is full of fun, and it's the true nature of sport. Winning and losing is not the important thing. The experience, the joy that you get out of it. And Krishna, or Shri Radha Gopinath, does that with so much ease. Now we struggle so much in this material world to actually put some food in our plate, to have a roof over our head, to have a decent lifestyle, or just to have the basic necessities of life. We're basically struggling. Like in the sense, if we work 8 to 5 at least, or 9 to 5, or some people work more. So we struggle so much for just our own maintenance, or for our maintenance of our health, to actually just live a healthy life, to prevent ourselves from any disease. We do so many things, we have to struggle a lot. And if you add to that, if you got to maintain a family, such a struggle. But for Krishna, it's very easy. The maintenance is very easy. He's not personally engaged, but then he just makes his expansions take care of it. I'm seeing the picture here of Krishna empowering Karnadashai Vishnu, and then from his spores, the universe are coming out. So for that, it's very easy. And then on top of that, the polluting nature of the material world makes even the easiest endeavor so hard for us. Now, when we want to create, when we want to have a child, it is a very arduous task. The pregnancy itself, and when the woman falls pregnant, the amount of struggle that she has to go through, and the struggle which the husband goes through as well, just to manage her, or like to take care of that in that situation, and where things are not exactly the way she wanted, and sometimes people have very bad pregnancy period where they vomit, they get fever, they get diabetes, and they literally like have morning sickness, and the husband also has to go through with the wife, and then the whole process of actually delivering a child itself is an arduous task. Now, as I said, the way how is the creation happening by Shri Shri Radha Gopinath? It's just by, he doesn't even personally involve in it. Karnadashai Vishnu, just when he breathes out, or through the spores of his hair, body, universes come out. And he's not dependent on anyone to actually make that creation, help in his creation. And then when destruction has to happen, he just inhales. So, and then the thing about, the important thing is like Karnadashai Vishnu does all that by actually lying down. He doesn't have to, he does it effortlessly. And again, Krishna, when once the material creation is there to actually have children, right? He doesn't again ask to go through all these arduous tasks. He just glances. He doesn't even need to have a very stern look at it. He just glances, and then living entities are manifested. So the way with which Krishna creates and maintains is so effortless. For us, it's such a big ordeal. Now, there is once we sometimes when you do something, we think we've done a great achievement. But Lord Brahma, once he went to meet Krishna, and then he went. I think not Krishna. He goes to meet Lord Vishnu, and then the Dwara Balakas, they ask him. They stop him, and they go and see if Vishnu is basically ready to meet Lord Brahma. And then he goes there, and then when they say that Brahma has come to meet you, Vishnu says, so which Brahma has come to meet me? And then when the Dwara Balakas come back and ask Brahma, so Vishnu is asking which Brahma is coming. No, Brahma is like, what? Vishnu is asking which Brahma? I am the Brahma who's come to meet him. I don't know what is the problem. Just in case if he wants to know, just say that I am the four-headed or Chaturmukha Brahma. I said, okay, fine. So when they go and tell to Lord Vishnu out of kindness, and as Paramatma inside our heart, always is eager to improve our consciousness, improve our Krishna consciousness, improve our dependence on Krishna, and interested in actually clearing our ignorance. He says, yes, the Chaturmukha Brahma can come in, and at the same time he calls a lot of other Brahmas. When we say small, few, it means there could be about thousands of Brahmas. And when the Chaturmukha Brahma went in, and he saw so many other Brahmas who actually entered before him without even asking the permission of the Dwara Balakas or the gatekeepers, he was surprised. And he saw some Brahmas having more heads than him. Some having 8, 16, 32, 64, 108, some even having thousands of heads. And when he saw that, then he felt humbled. And when we think about it, or at least when I read it first time, I was thinking, how would the physique be if somebody has like about 1,000 heads? Where do you like fit in all the heads? And wouldn't it be like a gross thing to see, like to have like 1,000 heads? And the lecture I heard for preparing for this class, as well as during the course of time when I heard, the Maharaj said, because we cannot think about somebody having more than one head. Or 4 is okay, because you can fit. Maybe 5, Brahma has 4 heads, 4 directions, maybe one more head on top to look up as well. But then more than that, it's really hard. That's because we can't actually think like that, because we are having big issues dealing with one of our brain, one of our head, or one of our mind. So as we know, like Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are part and parcel of the Lord. Mana Sasthani Indriyani, Prakriti Sthani Karshati. So we individual souls are part and parcels, and we are actually struggling with our 6 senses, which include the mind. So when we are actually struggling to actually to control ourselves with just one mind, then obviously we would think, how is it even possible to actually somebody to have 1,000 heads? And it's similar. Like now we have current age, most families have 2 kids, many families have 1 kid, and to just even think a little bit, 2 generations ago, that people had like 16 kids, some had even like 10, 20 kids in a family, and they managed to bring up 20 kids or 10 kids. For us, it looks like a dream. Like, oh my God, how do they even do that? They should be Superman and Superwoman to actually do that. But it was possible, and they did it even more easily and effortlessly than what we are actually, the effort that they're putting to raise 1 kid or 2 kids. So that is our conditioned nature. We sometimes when we read Shastras, we don't understand that. Now we have to understand all these demigods actually get their power from Krishna. So the story about Yamaraj, like when Krishna and Balaram graduated from their gurukuls, their teacher Sandipani Muni, when they asked for Guru Dakshina, is something that you give. Of course, it's something that you strive a bit. It's not an easy thing to give, because for the knowledge that's been given. So Sandipani Muni, knowing the position of Krishna and Balaram, and he was happy that he was given the honor to actually be their teacher, he asked, just by the question you can understand that he knew that they are not ordinary ordinary kids. He asked, my son has died long time ago or some time ago. I want you both to go and bring him back from dead. Now Krishna and Balaram, if something is asked to us, it's like, what kind of request is that? But Krishna and Balaram said, okay, fine, no problem. Now they went to Yamaraj, whose death performer. He is actually feared by most of the population currently. they don't want to meet him, they don't want to have an appointment with him. It's really scary because that means they have to leave everything that they've lived for. But then Krishna and Balaram actually went, and then they brought back their son. And then Yamaraj said, I actually did that because I know that you're going to be studying under Sandipani Muni, and I want to have darshan of you. And another pastime of Varunadev, who's king of water, when Nanda Maharaj actually went to take bath on the Dwadasi day, at the time where the Gandharvas, or it's not the appropriate time for the human beings to take bath, he was actually captured and taken to the lower regions of the water. And then when Krishna went there to save him, they were happy to receive Krishna. They were happy to have darshan of Krishna. And then we all know the pastime of Indra, being angry in different places, like when Krishna, the Parijata flower and all, tree, and also with taking, when Krishna ordered the Brajabasis to stop the worship of Indra and then to just worship just a mountain, just for Indra's insignificant mountain. So he's actually asking not to worship me, and then asking the Brajabasis to worship just a mass of rocks. That was his thought. And then what happened? Krishna proved him wrong, and in a way he taught him. Now it was said Krishna is that Govardhan's Giridhari. So when Krishna was holding Govardhan, just because the tip of the little finger of the left hand was touching Govardhan, because of that pleasure, he did not feel the pain that was being inflicted on him by the rain, by the thunderbolt weapon that Indra was actually throwing at it, and all the other demigods showing their full power to break Govardhan. So he did not feel any of that. So that's a good thing that we can actually understand, that even when we go through difficulties in life, if you are connected with Krishna, if you're connected with devotees and the process of suggested by Acharyas, we might actually go through it, but we'll come out of it a better devotee or a better person. And we would not be affected as an ordinary person gets affected. So the only thing that we can do is, when we go through difficulties, is are we actually taking a bit more? This is an opportunity to take a more shelter on the process of on the Krishna consciousness. Are we making it, or using that? Okay, I will stop it. I'll do it when things get better. So it means we're losing a very brilliant opportunity to actually take shelter of Shri Radha Gopinath. And then even Lord Shiva had a great devotee, a demon devotee called Banasura. He prayed to Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva gave him the boon, and he had 1,000 arms, and he used to play drums for Lord Shiva to dance with 1,000 arms, and each of his hands had the power of Lord Shiva. So he was so powerful, and he had a daughter called Usha, whom he protected as any father would, and she never had much interaction with men, and then she was always protected in her inner chambers of the palace. But then she had a maidservant who had some mystic powers, and Anirudh, who's Krishna's grandson. They both fell for each other. So mystically, the maid would made Anirudh up, manifest in the inner quarters of her of Usha. So when Banasura saw that Anirudh and Usha together, he got so furious, like any possessive dad, and then he waged war. Now in the war, like, we had all the demons, and Shiva was on his side with Kartikeya and Ganesha, and here this side he was Krishna's army, and they were actually fighting, and then at last Shiva actually threw the trident, which has the power to destroy the whole universe when the destruction happens. But then Krishna sent the Narayana Yastra, and which kind of the heat overcome by extreme cold, it actually defeated the Trishul of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva accepted his defeat. And in this way, it's not about fight between Lord Shiva and Krishna, but Lord Shiva is glorifying, is taking as an opportunity to glorify Lord Krishna. And then you have Brahmaji, where again when he was testing Krishna by taking away his coward boyfriends and the calves. Now when he came back, he told that I was thinking I was the creator of the whole universe, and I had this pride. Now I feel like a firefly. So what does fireflies do? When it's dark, they have this light that's coming out from the back of the body and from the tail. So when it's dark, it feels like it's very prominent. It's emanating light. But when the sun comes out, whatever the light that actually comes from the firefly is insignificant. So Brahmaji compares that I thinking that I am, because of my small light that I can create, I was thinking I did a great job. But then in front of you, when you came, all my ignorance, that is saying that in the darkness of ignorance, I felt that I was someone important. But then when the ignorance is gone, when the light of knowledge comes, I feel I'm insignificant. So that's another pastime of how Krishna is superior. And then even Mahavishnu, like the pastime of this Brahmana whose children, as soon as they were born, they died. And this Brahmana comes and shouts in front of the palace of Ugrasena that, what kind of a kingdom are you leading? If my kids are dying in an untimely manner, your kingdom is not run in a proper way. It's not run in a pious or in the right way. Now Arjuna said, how can this bad name come upon King Ugrasena? So he said, I will save your next kid. No matter what happens, I will protect it. So what he did, he went and he guarded the house of the Brahmana when his wife was about to deliver their next kid. And he was not only guarding for any attacks that's coming, physical attacks, but he's also put a veil to actually stop any subtle attacks that come into the house. No matter how much he did, the baby died. And Arjuna said, like, if that happens, I'm going to enter fire, I'm going to kill myself. When that happened, Arjuna said, as a warrior, true to his words, he said, I'm going to die. But then Krishna intervened and he said, like, no, don't take a rash decision, we'll go and try it, I'll help you to get the thing. And so Krishna did not take them to Bhur, Swa, Jana Loka, Mahar Loka, Tapa Loka, Satya Loka, not only the different lokas of the material planet, but piercing the coverings of the material creation, he actually took him to Vaikunta, where he came face to face with Vishnu. And Vishnu, after giving that, he said, I want to have darshan of you, Krishna. That's why I did that. Now, this pastime shows even Krishna is on a higher platform than Vishnu. So, in that way, we see that Krishna is basically doing all these things while he's actually just playing in Golok Vrindavan with his boyfriends, coward boyfriends, and the gopis. And he doesn't have an office, he doesn't have to send fax, he doesn't have to receive emails, he doesn't have to attend calls while he's playing playing with the cowherd boys or having his pastimes with the gopis and Srimati Radharani. He doesn't have to do it. He's not interrupted by any of his this And he does not take tension and he's not attached to it. So that is how effortlessly it's been managed. So we all can do our part in actually helping Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, because Krishna has provided all these entities, all this creation, everything. But the one thing that Shri Shri Radha Gopinath can't do, or is not can't do, doesn't want to do, is interrupt the free will of the conditioned souls. Shri Radha Gopinath says, if you want, I'm happy to take you. But if you don't want, then I will maintain my distance. But this is something that we as devotees can actually do, because we feel the gratitude that, and we feel the position and the honor to actually be blessed by Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. So we can actually overtake even that distance that Radha Shri Shri Radha Gopinath maintains in appreciating the free will. We can actually go and then try to preach to convince other people to take up Krishna consciousness. That is something that we can do. Now, before we do that, we need to have one thing. So there was a king who was actually going out with his ministers. He went to the jungle for hunting as well as time out from the city to discuss about different things that they need to implement. Now what happened is, when they were it was a walking meeting, so they were walking and discussing, and they went a bit away from the usual camp, and just with nature, they just got forgot about how long they've been walking, and they went into the interiors of the jungle. And suddenly they saw a lion in front of them, and it was very much ready to attack. Now, as the ministers, they are not Kshatriyas, they just fled. They just left the king and then they ran off, fearing for their life. Now the king was alone. The lion was almost ready to pounce, and it pounced. But there was a hunter there who actually saw that, and he shot an arrow and then killed the lion. And he saved the king. Now the king was grateful to that hunter, and he said, "What do you want? Tell me what you want." The hunter said, "I don't want anything." Then I said, "King, come on, tell me something. Tell something." I said, "King, I don't want anything. I have my hut. I have my family, and I have this big forest to provide me food. Even if you give me gold, what am I going to do? What am I going to buy with the gold? There's no necessity for me." So the king said, "Okay, at least ask me something." Then he said, "Okay, at least we'll be honored that if you can come to our house." Now the king said, "Okay, that's no problem. I will not come just yet. I will come on my special day. I'll come on my birthday." And he said, "Such and such day is going to come." So the hunter was happy, and he let his family know about it, that king will come on his birthday, and this birthday comes on such and such day. Now it was sometime later, not immediate. So the king always made plans to go to his house. Now the ministers were like, "Oh my God, we actually left the king and ran away. That was not a good thing to do. We were not, we did not put ourselves to save the king." So the minister said, "What can we do?" So the king is going to go to his hunter's house. Now he's a king. He can't just go to a hut house and sit down. So one of the ministers made arrangements, and he sent workers so that they kind of built a big mansion, almost a palace, so that the hunter can actually move into the palace and they can. Now the other minister said, "Okay, but then the palace is there, but the king has to sit, and then he needs to have that, luxury, and the people who actually serve him need to be properly dressed. He can't just have a tree bark and a deer skin. So he made sure all the utensils and the interiors of the house, interiors of the house, and the family of the hunter get nice dress and everything. Fine. And the other, one of the other ministers said, but the king needs proper utensils to eat. So he made arrangements, all the utensils and the dining area and everything. And the other minister, he said, oh yeah, but then the king has to come to the hunter's house, which is now a palace. But then, if the king comes, if it's birthday, there'll be other queens coming and all these things. The king is fine. He goes to hunting and everything, so he can go through those rough paths. But then the queens and the other sons and other relatives, we need to have proper transportation. So he made sure the road that goes to the palace of the hunter now is proper, and it's safe. So all these arrangements were made. Now this hunter didn't ask for anything. His hunter didn't ask for a palace. This hunter didn't ask for clothes and utensils, and his hunter didn't ask for a road to be put, a proper road to be put in front of the house. So all he asked for was for the king to come to his house. Now this is what a devotee aspires for. Now when we have to take Radha Gopinath, when we have to preach the message of Radha Gopinath, sometimes we might think, oh, I need to be like that devotee. If once I have the qualities of that devotee, then I can preach, I can actually convince, or I need to know so much knowledge, or I should be in this position, otherwise people will not respect me, people will not take me serious if I'm not in that in a certain position. Or I might need to have so much wealth, or I need to show that I have opulence with me, so that I can actually, the person whom I'm preaching will see that, oh, this person is being a devotee and he has so much wealth, so this should be, Krishna is providing that wealth, so if I become a devotee as well, I will also get that wealth. No, nothing as that sort. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshe sthina priyaha tu bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapeham. So he says that he's not partial to anyone. He doesn't hate he doesn't envy anyone. He's not partial, and for him everybody is equal. But Krishna says that, but one who renders devotional service to him, he is a friend in me and I am a friend in him. No, this is all that we need. If we ask Krishna to just come into our heart, then everything becomes auspicious. When we preach to people, when we try to connect with people, reach out to people, first, that's the first thing is we need to have the desire to reach out. Only then Krishna even will actually fulfill that desire. But if you have your devotional, if you doing your sadhana and your personal sadhana, and then you want to just keep it to yourself, and you don't have the desire to share it with others, then that's still your free will. Sri Radha Gopinath will not even try to disturb that free will. But if you have that will, then he might, and you just want him to come into your inside you to help you, then it will all manifest. So this comes as a request from Srila Prabhupada as well, that we need to distribute books, we need to preach, we need to talk about Krishna, we need to tell about Krishna. Sometimes talking about Krishna and telling about Krishna could be without even uttering a word called Krishna, because you're trying to get relationship, you're trying to relate to that person. Sometimes talking to Krishna, talking about Krishna, preaching about Krishna could be just about giving someone prasadam in any way. Sometimes talking to Krishna and preaching about Krishna could be, as Ghanshyam Prabhu said yesterday, just doing flowers. Any service that you render to Krishna is a service. But if we could also make that effort to actually connect to another person, Krishna becomes more happy. Because Prabhupada said book distribution is our family business. So in a family business, you might have different interests. You might want to. You might like a different kind of music, and one person might like to go traveling, one person like to go learn dancing, one person would like to do cooking. Everything is fine. There's no problem in that. But then when you call family business, what it means is like they all involved in the family business, which is actually creating the revenue for doing all the other activities, or which is giving you the opportunity to do all other activities. So in that way, Sankirtan, book distribution, preaching is that activity that thing that gives you life to actually do other things as well. So while Krishna is actually kind of doing all these expansions and everything easily, we have to understand that Krishna doesn't. The one thing that Krishna doesn't want to do is like interfere with the free will of another conditioned soul. But he's left the task, or Prabhupada has kindly given us all the necessary infrastructure as well as the necessary things, material, books, kirtan, and all the facilities and all the means to reach out to people in a very nice way, and it's up to us to utilize how we can actually fulfill that desire of Shri Radha Gopinath. I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.